Kim Du-ryu's West-Eastern game of colors. The fact that the art of the Korean painter Kim Du-ryu appears familiar to me as a viewer is certainly due primarily to the Western tradition of color field painting, which has been omnipresent for many years in Europe and in the USA since the 1950s. We think of Barnett Newman, Clifford Still or Mark Rothko, those representatives of the American abstract expressionism who often executed large-sized canvases in which the color was applied in larger or in smaller color fields. It is not hard to see that Kim Du-ryu's partly geometric, partly painterly dissolved compositions bear a close resemblance to this color field painting of Western tradition. Her clear predilection for color, to which she subordinates everything else, can also be easily recognized. The repertoire of shapes in her works ranges from distinctly defined geometric fields up to dissolved, irregular brush strokes executed in gestual freedom. Kim Du-ryu's lines are mostly horizontal or vertical, arranging the pictorial elements into a harmonious structure without the slightest hint of spatial illusion or of perspective. In this sense, her painting is very consequently abstract. While the majority of the works of Western color field painting appears calm and meditative, this being due to their reduced chromatic spectrum as well as a color palette often dominated by cool tones, Kim Du-ryu's works differ greatly from this. For here, the distance between artwork and viewer is replaced by both intuition and emotion. The paintings of the Korean artist seem to invite the viewer to immerse himself in her magnificent colors and thus draw him directly to the pictorial experience. Within her oeuvre, the artist simultaneously employs various design systems. On the one hand, there are still wonderful figurative pictures, mostly of individual figures in a relaxed pose, which almost dissolve in colorful, abstract spaces and merge with their surroundings. In the work Untitled 3, created in 2015, for example, a figure sits casually in an armchair with its legs crossed. Its outfit has the same colorfulness as the surrounding environment, and the figure is made recognizable as such with only a few highlighted color areas. The expressive brush strokes remain visible, yet the color areas are by no means clearly separated from each other, but rather blurred, which gives the paintings vitality without disturbing the calm and serene mood. The step that the artist then takes towards a completely non-figurative work is small. If we consider paintings such as Untitled 54 or Untitled 55 as a comparison. In both cases, we are impressed by the brilliance of the colors and the loose strokes of the brush. Even in Untitled 55, the viewer is hardly tempted to think of spatial or landscape associations, even though the colors may remind us of natural elements such as sun, tree, and water, by setting them in a reddish-brown frame or background. However, they completely lose their supposed illusionistic effect. This becomes even clearer in Untitled 54, where the irregular pattern of yellow light slits and dark shadow lines simply does not evoke the effect of foliage. The importance of color in Kim's paintings is unmistakable. Striking contrasts between the primary and secondary colors of the chromatic spectrum give her paintings a cheerful liveliness. Since color also enjoys a particularly high status in Asian cultures, different color theories, such as the principles of Feng Shui or the Korean color scheme Obangsaek, play an important role in her work. But also the influences of Western art. Not only color field painting can be recognized in her canvases. we think, for example, of the Fauve and especially of Henri Matheis's painting. Although the works of the French painter have always remained figurative, his chromatic arrangements and the typical flatness of his works are comparable to the style of the Korean artist. As Matisse once said, painting does not mean coloring forms, but rather forming colors. This quote seems to sum up Kim Do-rye's art perfectly. Apart from a certain layering, her works negate any spatiality and are spread all over the canvas. The color levels are skillfully balanced even where a single shade dominates. Whether in small grid-like structures, in gestual impressions, or clear, strict color fields, it is always evident that Kim Do-rye is a true master of her craft. Thus, she blends Western and Eastern painting into an unmistakably unique synthesis. Her art not only wants to be looked at, but actively experienced by the viewer. By allowing this, it enables him to fully dive into her extraordinary color world.